Welcome back to the Better Contractor equipment training. So now we have a skid steer or a skid loader in front of us. And these, man, they're used for so many different jobs, whether you're in construction, dirt work, or even some kind of right-of-way clearing or landscaping. Farming, you're right. I mean, they are a very useful tool. This one is in front of us is a certain brand, of course, but there's so many different brands too, and they all vary a little bit. Some of them might be tired machines, some might be tracked machines. This seems to be the least amount of footprint and be able to carry the most weight. So most people are going with a tracked machine.
They're very versatile. I mean, from the different attachments you put on there to just the creature features inside, heated seats, air conditioning, good cab. They have cameras in them. Some of them are even set up to where you can run them remote controlled if you want to. Good lighting on them, but they just make it a joy for the guy person, maybe not a gentleman, but for anybody to be able to operate and not be wore down at the end of the day.
Yeah, so whether your company has their own or if you would go rent one, make sure you got a good trailer to haul it on. You know, there's a lot of guys out there that are trying to haul these around with a half-ton pickup truck and a non-adequate trailer. Just make sure you actually have a good quality trailer and a good truck to be able to pull it around safely. And then use the 4 points of contact to be able to boom it down, and any attachment that you would put on the trailer along with it, really have it fastened down well too, because it means a lot to have it going down, not just legal, but so that it don't jump off and kill somebody.
But being such a wide tracks and everything puts a lot of light footprint on the ground, but you're still looking at 14,000 pounds of weight here. So you want to make sure you get it positioned on your trailer right to where it pulls right, it doesn't get the trailer to where it's wobbling and weaving and stuff. You want to make sure that you've got the adequate equipment to haul it around, because they are very well built, very heavy pieces of equipment. And the attachments are usually up to another ton more that you're putting on there. So you want to make sure that you have adequate trailer and truck, good brakes on trailers, good brakes on the truck all to get it around. And more than likely, if you're hauling that around, you're going to be maybe to a bigger driver's license, maybe into a CDL driver's license, maybe a B or an A, depending on what it is. So you want to make sure you're covered there.
But whether you guys own one or rent one or just using one, really inspect it. So some of the things that you'd want to inspect and maintain on any skid steer would just grease, again, is everybody's friend on a machine because you got metal parts moving. But just look for all the pivot points, because there's a grease cert on every pivot point. And there's, I think there's 22, we thought, on this machine. So really important to make sure things are greased. And as you're doing that, or I like to, as I clean my machine, notice if there's any bolts coming loose, anything working loose, anything not working right. And then I do want to point out that you said the creature comfort's in there. It's even got a stereo in there. Pretty cool cab, but don't have that stereo so loud that you cannot hear your machine. Or even if you use earbuds, make sure you can hear your machine, whether it's making a creaking noise or maybe something's you know, coming off or just a total different sound. Get out and check it out. We talked yesterday a little bit about the tracks, because you're going to make sure and check the tension on these tracks. They do tension with grease, but if you were to hear some popping noise, you could actually stop, get out, see what the deal is, and you can usually then know which way to turn to steer to get those tracks to not come off, but to pop right back in place. And what are some of the things that could cause a track to pop off? You
could hit a stump, you could hit a big rock or anything. You could actually be working around gravel and stuff and get enough rocks built up inside the tracks from not cleaning out that actually throw a track off or something. So you always want to take care and inspect even though your tracks, you don't think you'll ever go flat, but you can get rips and tears in your tracks, and that will make them get loose on one side and not be tight on the other. So since these do tension with grease, you have to make sure you have an adequate amount of grease in there to keep the tension on it.
Then while we're talking about that, just cleaning out tracks, obviously if you're doing dirt work, get into the mud, you're going to have stuff caked up there. You talked about rocks. I see a few little rocks in this one, but especially as we get into winter, but try to clean out those tracks. It can freeze up. And then some guys use a little shovel, and I like using it's an L-shaped pick, you might say. You can pull that dirt back out, and it's nice to do it right there at the job site. Where the dirt was from anyway, and not let it get back up onto your travel trailer where it could jump off the travel trailer and bust somebody's windshield or something.
You want to make sure that you can get as much debris off as you can. You add more weight, more dirt you have on it, the more weight you have. It doesn't take long to add a couple 100 pounds of weight just because extra dirt and stuff on the tracks. The freezing part, once the tracks get froze up, you hear people have to wait till the weather warms up, or they get torches and they'll actually put some heat to it, you know, which can be bad for the bearings and stuff by putting that heat to them. But the more maintenance you do by keeping it clean out, maybe you have a better start the next day.
It seems like there's probably very few gasoline ones now. Most of them are diesel. The newer ones are going to take some DEF fluid. But just get familiar with your machine on where you fill up the fuel and the DEF and the hydraulic fluid. And then almost all of them, the cab, you have to move the arms up and put the security catches on it, but you can move that whole cab and rock it up to be able to access some areas and clean stuff out. This one in particular already has a weight kit on it. It's got, I think, 275 pounders on each side, so that's 300 pounds. And then it's got a back big winch and bumper built that this one adds 600 pounds, which is really gonna help with the load. Like you said, some attachments could be a ton, but even a bucket full of dirt can definitely be a ton. 3 points of contact getting in. They almost all have some very good skid stuff, plating, and be able to pop open the door to be able to get in. But try to use the handles, the 3 points of contact. And on these in particular, the left hand is gonna operate the bucket for its tilt and its operation. And the right hand on this is gonna be your drive. And then usually you have foot controls and stuff where you can control also the RPM. But use the seat belt. I know not too many people want to use the seat belt because you pull the lap bars down and it works. But use that seat belt just in case you would ever get into a position that could hurt you. You could knock your head against something in there and hurt yourself. If you were stuck and you could not get out for some reason, you can actually pull those red handles right there, and that door will come open if for some reason this got jammed with something. Or if you were in there and got nose down into something, you can get out that back glass. It's basically got an emergency hatch, and it'll pull the weather stripping out around it, and you can get out of there. You got to shimmy a little bit to get out of there.
Well, and also, you know, when the engine bay back here, you pull the pin, you move the winch out of the way, the engine bay. You'll want to keep that cleaned out, especially from debris. Seems like there's always sticks and dirt to get pushed up in there. Air cleaner, keep it clean. Check your oil. This one here has a reversible fan to help blow the debris away from the radiator. There's a ton of heat built up back here by the motor and the hydraulics, so keeping all your coolant areas cleaned out regularly does help with maintaining this machine and keeping it working at its full potential.
Yeah, and then, like he said, there's a backup camera on these that really help because the arms kind of obstruct your view sometimes, and the load that you're carrying could. The backup camera really does help. But then keep your glass as clean as possible just for the glare. If you can't see, you can't operate safely. And then this one, most of them do now, but they have a rear view mirror too to also help. Just really help and make sure you can see what you're doing.
And using it on the job site, using it on the farm, whatever, you're gonna have mud on your boots and your stuff getting in there. Try to keep your floorboard clean so you don't have that dirt build up, so you can have good movement in there. And the cleaner you keep the machine, the better the machine is.
Yep. So as far as lessons learned, it's a it's a rookie mistake that I am still making, but if I operate in this piece of equipment, I will sometimes not lower my attachment enough, shut it all off, try to get out, and this door hits here and you can't get out. So you have to start it back up and then lower the machine, and right away they can tell you're a rookie. So that's just one thing to try to remember, to always lower your equipment or your attachment and arms as much as possible before you try to get out. And then we'll talk some more about attachments in a minute, but try to not drive with whatever attachment you have on and any higher than you need. Try to keep it as low as possible, whatever that is. And then without an attachment, she's going to handle completely different. She's going to be completely rear heavy.
Correct.
Trying to go up a steep slope or even the ramps on a trailer. can be trouble.
Yep. Since this is, the tracks are one piece, as you go up a trailer, you'll get up to a certain point and you'll be looking at the sky, then it'll tip down. So you want to make sure your trailer doesn't have frost on it or ice or snow or anything like that. Clean that off. That way, when it goes up, it doesn't slip or fall, and try to be as level as possible. And loading and unloading, you want to make sure your trailer, you're putting your chocks underneath your trailer tires. Keep that trailer from shimming, because here again, this is a lot of weight you're pushing in one time, and it's going to push on the trailer. Suspension is going to go down. That helps on your trailer and your truck.
Yeah, and then, yeah, I've actually seen people on YouTube, well, you've seen all that, what they can do, but don't go up on your trailer and then spin around and turn all the way back around to be able to load something different. Just load front and then back off of it.
Spotters, it's always nice to have a spotter available to help you, because sometimes you can't see everything. That spotter's your eyes out there. He can have you stop before you make a mistake, or he might see something that's going on that neither one of you anticipated. It's always nice, here again, working with somebody, keeping that extra set of eyes, that extra pair of ears around to look.
And communication is key. We recommend using a two-way radio where you can talk to the other people in your group, or some of these stereos you can even hook up Bluetooth to your phone, where you can, then you'll know if you get a phone call or access. So just an amazing piece of equipment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But just some of the quick little tricks and trades that we know, but try to operate safely and be the better contractor.